up, what's up? It's your boy Darkel coming to you from the rig. I'm over here up in New Jersey right now. Just got up, letting the truck warm up. It's already getting a little cold up here. It's not as cold as it was in upstate New York last week, but it's cold enough where I got over my sweater. Just over here cooking my breakfast. Let me show you guys. I got this new little thing right here. Cooks eggs, boils eggs without having to use all that water and stuff. Just very minimal water. Basically, you can actually boil eggs, you can do omelets, all kind of has a separate little tray for that. You saw my coffee pot in the background, but just gonna give you guys a quick update what's up with the truck with Old Yeller. So Old Yeller's been running good. I'm already on my 5th week. I've had no problems with him. The only situation I've been having is I've been having to, like, every 2 weeks remove the coolant reservoir. I gotta empty it out. And I gotta, like, clean it out, with, like, Dawn soap, stuff like that, and then run with it, and it gets dirty again. So, guys, this video, I'm mainly making this video to give guys a heads up, man. Especially in the trucking industry. You gotta make sure that you got a good mechanic that you trust. Oh, hold on a second, guys. That's because the eggs are done right here. You gotta push this button right quick. Let me go ahead and pop on the coffee maker. So, yeah, guys. In the trucking industry, having a mechanic that you trust is very important, especially when you're an owner-operator with all truck that's got warranty and stuff. You gotta have somebody you trust, man. You know what I'm saying? And my uncle told me to go to their mechanic. I didn't go to their mechanic. I went to a mechanic right there in Orlando. It was recommended to me by one of our friends, supposed to be a Christian guy, but the guy ended up doing me real wrong. So basically, I went to him and I got my AC fixed. He did a great job on my AC. A hub seal. His prices were decent. So I'm like, damn, this is the guy. But I had an oil cooler that went on my truck. Oil cooler is some nasty business. It gets all over, it gets everywhere. It's all in your radiator and your lines. It goes everywhere, man. It gets, when your oil cooler goes bad, you get oil in your reservoir, and it comes into the reservoir in the return. You don't get coolant into it doesn't mix with your coolant in the engine. It just goes into your reservoir. Two little return hoses. And so I took it to him. I told him, hey, look, it looks like the oil cooler's bad, and so whatever. I go, I go on the road in a rental truck, and he calls me, he tells me, hey, I got bad news. It's not the oil cooler. You need a head job, which I found it weird because, I did the test on my truck where I got a gallon, I got the overflow little tube that comes out your reservoir plugged into a gallon to see if, because if your heads are bad, you'll lose coolant through the overflow pipe. There's pressure going in there. There's no coolant coming out. You can literally take my cap off after the engine's been hot. So you already know that when your heads are bad, it's just so much pressure. It's just plus, and when your head goes bad, you get coolant in your oil. Coolant mixes with everything. So, I told him, I said, I called my uncle's mechanics and I told him what my truck was doing, and he told me no. To be careful, the mechanic might be trying to scam me because he might just trying to sell me some work. But, again, this guy came recommended by one of my boys from the church. Be careful. A lot of mechanics, a lot of people act like they're Christians. Be careful. Sometimes Christians are the worst people, man. So you got to be very careful, man. Anyway, whatever. So I told the guy, my uncle's mechanic, for the family mechanic, actually told me, said, look, just tell him just to change the oil cooler, and that's it. If he insisted, just tell him it doesn't matter if the head's bad, change my oil cooler because the oil cooler is definitely bad. That's why so much oil is going in my reservoir. So he said, okay, I'll do that, but if you get oil back in your system, then it's the head, and we'll do the head job. And I was like, all right, fine. If you do the oil cooler and oil, it keeps happening, then all right, then we'll do the head job. So that was my mistake right there, agreeing to that. So I should have just told him to put my truck back together and took it down south to get it done with my uncle. I shouldn't even have done the job with him, but whatever. So, and I had bought a brand new I bought the oil cooler gasket, and I bought the oil cooler head gasket, and I bought the reservoir, and I took it to him because he told me that he already had oil. He ordered the oil cooler through his connection to get a cheap price. That was my mistake number 2. So whatever, I go back on the road. I come back the next week, and he's installed my new, my little reservoir, and supposedly he did my oil cooler and everything, and I believed him, So I go on the road, and first week out, there's oil again in my reservoir. He's like, they tell me, sometimes it takes time. He probably, he probably didn't do a flush with soap, so I do a flush myself. with degreaser and so like Dawn and all that stuff. A bunch of stuff comes out. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe the system was dirty. Go out of the next week, more oil in there. Do another flush myself, and the mechanic said he did flushes. So I go out the third week, more oil. Now we're going into like the 5th week since that, and there's still oil getting in there. Like I've already had to do 3 flushes myself, and I removed the reservoir 3 times. I just removed that. I just put new coolant into the cheap stuff because you know it's getting dirty. So I like using the red stuff. That's like $12 a gallon. So I've been putting the little cheap stuff like $7 a gallon. You know, because it's cold out here, so I can't just run on water, whatever. So you know, I took it back last Monday to the mechanic down south to look at it, and you know, he knows I've been doing flushes and stuff, and when he saw it, the oil is fresh getting in there. He told me, this guy did not change your oil cooler. This guy sold you work because he's trying to sell you a head job. And you know, it sucks to happen to me, but guys, this is just a video to give you guys a heads up. You gotta be very careful, and if you're gonna go with a mechanic, you know, you buy the parts. Buy the parts. Be there when they're installing them. You know, watch that shit happen, man, and tell them to show you the old parts. See, those are mistakes I did, and I'm telling you. So now, and the guy charged me $1,200 to do my oil cooler. $1,200 fucking dollars, man. You know what I'm saying? To do my oil cooler. So, you know, that's parts and everything, but still. So the mechanic down south is gonna charge me $400, me bringing him the parts. I'm saving like $400. I would have saved $400 for him. But anyway, be careful with mechanics. When you're an operator out here and you own your truck, you gotta have a good mechanic you trust. And if you don't, then, you know, go to a mechanic, but, you know, be there to inspect the work, man. Even if you guys spend there all days, but just the week you get the date, these guys think that we're like millionaires, that we make all this money. They don't even know how bad the trucking shit is right now. So, you know, there it is, man. Here I am now. You know, I'm in a new little company here where I'm booking my own loads, and I do like that. I don't make as much money as I was. I'm just getting back into a rhythm. But I gotta come up with $800 so I can get the oil cooler gasket and take it down to the guy and give him the $400. So that he can get the job done. Plus, I gotta buy the coolant. So it just sucks, guys, that I gotta do this job again. You know, I've been dealing with every morning. I gotta go into a little rag and pull oil out, and by the end of the week, I gotta take the whole thing off. And you know, I drained the system, so the engine, the system is clean. It's just, that's how I know the oil cooler. It's just oil getting in my reservoir. That's it. My whole system is clean. It's just the reservoir. But eventually, with time, is, you know, these reservoir centuries got chambers. It just gets so full. There's no way to get to it. You gotta drain it. But anyway, guys. Yeah, so be careful with mechanics you deal with out there, man. And you know, if you don't have a mechanic that you trust or a family mechanic, be there to inspect the work, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, guys. Right now I'm about to go. It's Thursday morning. I'm about to go drop off my load. I'm about to pick one up today and probably be able to drop it off. Well, actually, since I gotta drop it off in the morning. Now I'm picking it right there where I'm delivering tomorrow. I'm picking up Friday, heading home. Next week is Halloween, so I'll be doing little local runs, and we're just gonna chill out. You know, boy Alex is gonna chill in the crib. We're gonna have some candy out, and we're gonna watch a scary movie at 9. So we're just gonna hang out. So it's Halloween next week. I'll stay close to home. I'll be there for Halloween, and I'll go back out Friday, and that's how we're gonna do it, man. So you guys stay up, man. Keep the rubber down, man. The boy Darkel out. Peace.